That's my point.
And when you let in, and by the way, if you want to be mad at somebody, if you want to be mad at somebody, you should be mad at Joe Biden for letting in millions. Who let him in? Who let him in?
It's devastating.
Van, go ahead.
It's terrible. It's not.
Then don't break the law. Don't break the law.
Self-deport.
Who's breaking the law?
The people that are here illegally.
No, I'm sorry.
Let me
stop here.
People are here. This conversation at dinner, and I said to her, "I am sorry that you decided to break the law. There are a lot of Americans that break laws, and they go to jail."
Like, for real? You said that to your friend's wife at a dinner?
A lot of people are doing that.
This is what we're saying. And if she goes to a hearing, she could be deported right now.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Jasmine. My friends call me Jizzy Creams. The 101-degree weather today in New York, so I'm gonna get through this as quickly as I can. I might pause it here and there throughout the video for a short while, but I'm gonna save all my thoughts for the end. Yeah, here we go.
We just got some breaking news that an appeals court is now allowing Trump to continue having control of the California National Guard. This is an offshoot of that situation where there were riots and confrontations with law enforcement, and Trump said, I'm going to take over the National Guard and send them in. Now they're being able to do that after some litigation over the last week and a half. But look, one of the reasons, I mean, this is a connected story. You know, you're talking about these ICE agents and DHS agents and all of these folks who are carrying out these raids. The masks have been an issue.
Why?
I'm just stating that for people, they're seeing these men showing up in their communities in hats and in black masks covering everything but their eyes. And we've had deportation raids for many a decade in this country. President Obama's administration did it to the tune of millions. And yet we did not see that.
But here's why. Because you didn't have the left when who you work for. Barack Obama was doing this, deporting a lot of people. You didn't have the left saying, we're going to dox you and your family. We're going to put your lives at risk, and we're going to put your addresses on the.
Yeah, because notice how they're enjoying it too much. And the fact that they aren't stating their names and they're covering their identities and they're being super sketchy about it. Hello.
Internet. We're going to go to your house and live stream, and we're going to put your kids' Instagram on social media out there saying you're a bad guy. That wasn't happening when Barack Obama was.
I don't think that's happening to the extent that he's making it seem like it is.
Doing it because now Donald Trump's doing it. Therefore, let's go after ICE.
You're saying all law enforcement, just because they're afraid of being doxxed, if the NYPD today has some sort of protest against it, they now have to start wearing uniforms and not any insignia on them. Look, I was at.
That's not what I'm saying.
Let me tell you this.
My dad's in law enforcement. That's not what I'm saying. So let me finish this because, like, when you come from a law enforcement family and you see these guys and you see these guys that come out there and they risk their lives and they're doing their job. And then you have, like, I'm sorry with the Dodgers, like, the Dodgers things makes me mad because I think they were making a point probably to sell tickets and to get fanfare behind them.
I talked to the mayor today. That's not true.
So you think that the Dodgers didn't do that thinking the PR aspect of it was, we're going to stand up to ICE, and then we're going to have more people that like us in the legal immigrant community, or those that have friends in the legal immigrant community.
You're taking up a lot of space here.
I just started talking a second ago.
It was not a second ago, but look, one thing I just want to note, like, you know, when there are judges who rule against the Trump administration and conservative, policies, people dox them, they dox their family members, they call them evil and activists.
Supreme Court justices that were doxed,
right? So I guess my point is that is happening to people who are not even in law enforcement. They're just people in black robes sitting on a bench.
And Democratic lawmakers getting shot.
Nobody says anything about it.
And that is a point that I am surprised flew over everyone's head. Okay, Democratic lawmakers are being killed, are being shot. That's a real big one. I'm surprised that they didn't bring that up again.
It's bad. All of it's bad. But I also think, look, again, ICE has been detaining and deporting people in this country for a long time, okay? The difference is not just this moment. It is also the tactics.
Yes.
Okay? It is the people that they are going after. They're taking women and moms at their hearing where they've been called to appear for their immigration proceedings. Taking them but they're at their hearing, they're being told to come, and then they are detaining them in the hallways. They're breaking the glass windows of cars. I'm just telling you, it's the tactics that is changing the way people are seeing
American citizens go to court all the time and get arrested and taken away from their kids, and no one is acting like this is some injustice.
I don't think you understand what
is he even referring to right there? What is he talking about?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that happens every day.
No, but it's not.
Do you know how many people are in the prison population in America?
And when it does,
how many
if
moms
you've
and
ever
dads?
known somebody that has happened, it's devastating.
Van, go ahead
it's terrible. It's not.
Then don't break the law.
It's
Don't break the law.
traumatizing
Self-deport.
to the child.
Who's breaking the law?
The people that are here
No, I'm
illegally.
sorry.
No, you don't
No,
understand
let
what
me
you're talking
stop
about.
here.
People that are here illegally are breaking the
Let me
law.
just go to
The only people breaking the law and getting a pass for it is Trump, half of his cabinet, and Elon Musk. So let me guess, don't break the law only applies to poor, brown, or desperate people, right? According to him?
Let me just finish my thought here. There are plenty of people here who are here legally, who had legal status, who are showing up to basically to renew their legal status or to check in as the rules dictated, and they are getting deported and they're getting arrested. That is not right. These people have the right to be here.
There are people living in hiding right now. I know them. They are in hiding that have visas that are here legally because they are afraid of the tactics of ICE. These are not fairy tales. These are not fairy tales.
See, we live in two different worlds. In the world you live in, the main thing that's happening is that ICE people are being mistreated. And I didn't even know as much about it as you told me today, so I'm learning. In the world I live in, the rule followers, the people who have legal status, who are trying to do what they're told, are also getting grabbed in ways that would shock you and are being deported. That's why you're having the alarm. So you're just saying, oh, somebody's breaking the law, they should get arrested. If that's what we're talking about.
Again, we're referring to the people who waited years, have passed background checks, and paid fees. These are not criminals.
There's no conversation. We're talking about the rule followers
You're acting
who are
like
getting in
there's
trouble.
the majority of the people being arrested. And hold on. No, it's not the majority. It's not the majority have legal status.
Well,
that's not true. That is misinformation.
No, hold on a second. First of all,
or a lie, however you want to describe it.
Well, the majority of ICE people are not getting doxxed, but what I'm saying is there are people. I've come to LA. There are people.
I live in Houston. I see a ton of illegal immigrants. They're not hard to find.
Okay, but Houston is not LA.
They are dogpiling us in LA, and you have nannies who are literally out there with children being sworn by people with masks, taken away. These people have legal status, and the children are traumatized. That's what's happening, and people are very upset about it.
Let me say this. Number one,
with
it's
legal
not
status.
The majority, but number two, it's this. I go back to law and order. You either have law and order or you don't.
That's my point.
And when you let in, and by the way, if you want to be mad at somebody, if you want to be mad at somebody, you should be mad at Joe Biden for letting in millions. Who let him in? Who let him in?
Can I ask you a question?
No, if you're going back to trauma, then giving someone false hope that you can come to America.
How about studying the topic that you're talking about instead of just blaming Biden? Areas that you lack knowledge or even empathy, you just replace with Biden. That's not how the world works. That's not right.
They have legal status.
Blame your own party for this.
Can I ask a question? Because President Trump just said that he doesn't want people going after undocumented immigrants on farms and in the hospitality industry, right? The very people that you say are lawbreakers, he's giving amnesty to because he reversed it, but he said it, right? Why? Why are some people who are here illegally, according to you, why should they stay here? Because
Okay, so reversing it means he doesn't mean it? How does that work? And this only goes to show more about Trump, his chickening out move. He reverses things because he chickens out. Or he's getting told by his friends here, like, oh, can you do this? And he's like, sure. And then he sees that these friends over here aren't benefiting from that, so he's like, oops, never mind. So obviously, this whole reversing thing, this guy's shrugging it off like it's not a big deal when it is the biggest deal. It puts American lives in danger. Not only that, but it shows how unserious, unpredictable, unprofessional, humiliating, and just careless it is. Don't be shrugging off. Yeah, well, he reversed it. Yeah, but just like she said, he still said it, and it's out there. And even on an even more important note, you can't just deny it when it's the blatant truth.
A, reverse it, but B, my
but
policy
why would he say it in the first place? Why would he say it?
Again, I go back to a very simple issue. I don't care if you're an American citizen or if you're an illegal immigrant. If you are breaking in a law in this country, you should be arrested if you are to be arrested for breaking that law. And if you came here illegally, then you should self-deport or live worried all the time.
Why did he think until he got pushback from his base? Why did he think some people deserved to stay here and others didn't?
I don't think he got the pushback you're describing.
But why did he reverse it?
The majority of
his denial is so deep. I don't think he got the pushback that you're describing. Okay.
Americans say they're in favor of A, a secure border,
but not the
and B, then deporting
then
people
why do
that
you
are here
reverse
illegally.
himself?
His numbers are tanking.
Most
They're not tanking. His approval rating's up today.
Most conservatives.
That's not true. His approval rating's up 56%.
Stop talking for a second.
Hold on a second.
You said that he's tanking.
Guys, hang on a second, Ben, just a second. So what she's referring to is his poll numbers on immigration, which have been declining.
Yes.
And when you do ask people, this is why I brought up the issue of tactics. When you ask about the way that Trump is going about doing this mass deportation, which is going after, you know, a broad swath of the immigrant community, not just the criminals, which everybody agrees should be deported, but all of those other people, the nannies, the construction workers, the cooks, the house cleaners. That's when you start to see more Americans saying, we don't agree with that.
And I think the problem is.
And by the way, deporting criminals has always been a thing. It's never stopped. I mean, it's been going. We've been doing that. The only difference is that, you know, Trump wants to put it on a stage and make a show out of it. Well, other people don't need to do that because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're doing their jobs. And it's not weird. It's not a unique thing.
The problem is that people were told that we were going to focus on deporting criminals, and the reality was that many people try to say is like they think everybody is a criminal, and that they don't care how they treat immigrants. The humanity of people is being erased every day in these streets, and if you can sleep at night, then go for it. But I think whether you break the law or not, my faith, my belief is that you still treat people with decency and humanity, and that is not.
Or that is respecting other people's laws. I agree with you. I respect the laws.
Okay, here comes Mr. Dismissive. His attitude really just reflects the rest of the Trump's cult. But that's another thing is I think it's worth repeating that cruelty is the point. People can deny that all they want. It's not going to make it go away. Cruelty is the point with Trump.
When I go to Mexico,
even when somebody doesn't,
I respect the laws in England.
Even when somebody doesn't respect the laws, I still respect their humanity.
To Israel later this year,
I know,
and that's the problem is there are people that don't respect the laws.
See, I know you very well, and I know for sure. If you knew the people that we're talking about, you would be standing with us. You would be standing with us.
Do you know them?
Yes, and I go back to I've had conversations. One of my best friends married an illegal immigrant. We had this conversation at dinner, and I said to her, I am sorry that you decided to break the law. There are a lot of Americans that break laws and they go to jail.
Like, for real? You said that to your friend's wife at a dinner?
And there's a consequence for your actions.
So nannies in the park with babies. So nannies in the park with babies.
We have a grand conversation, and you have one-sided where you say your side's the only side that's right, and my side's the only. You said you'd kick me out if I had the conversation.
Hold on, Ben. So you said that you have a friend whose wife is
he married an illegal immigrant. They have children that are in this country.
And you said to that person,
who else marries illegal immigrants? Is Melania one that married? She was an immigrant. She was an illegal immigrant. She married, and where's the criticism there?
I had them on my show.
Okay, I know. I'm just making sure we understand. I think it's a very interesting anecdote.
It's an important conversation.
You said to her, you need to be deported?
I said the same thing that my dad said to me if I ever got arrested. Don't expect me to bail you out. You're accountable for your actions.
So what
I said to her was this. I think you're an incredible human being. I love that you have this love with your family, your friends. It doesn't erase your kindness or your love, the fact that you broke the law.
Did you call ICE on her?
I'm not going to call ICE on somebody.
Let
me finish. I'm going to tell you exactly. It's a great question. Because they were working through the process with lawyers while this was happening.
But you know what?
What does he think we're talking about here? Yeah, dingus.
A lot of people are doing that.
This is what we're saying. And if she goes to a hearing, she could be deported right now.
If you have someone on your show who's an illegal immigrant and you have them on when you're having the conversation, everybody knows this is taking place. That's number one. Number two, they'd already had an interaction with law. They were already going through the process.
Wait, hold on. But Brent,
this is not.
Everybody knows it's taking place? Wait, what did he mean by that? Meaning they're in the clear? They got the okay for it since it's already a known thing? What did he mean by that?
I'm glad we're on this because we were just discussing that exact scenario. Many of these people, this is DHS policy now. They're in a courtroom because they are undocumented right now, but they're going through a legal process to normalize their status. And what DHS is doing to those people, and might do to your friend's wife, is say, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to toss this case, and when you walk out of the store, we're going to put you in an ICE detention facility.
That is happening.
That is not justice. That is not order. That is not law. That is a straight up trap. That is trapping people in the most fucked up way.
So that is the scenario that we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
Not run on that.
I go back to the point that I made earlier. We are either a nation of laws or we're not.
Okay. So first of all, the whole it being Joe Biden's fault, you guys, we're sick of it. If I had a nickel, seriously. Okay, where do I even start with this? So immigration laws, Congress, and international crisis all play a major role in this. So it's not just Biden, okay? Blaming one president absurdly oversimplifies a very complex issue. You know who else has had undocumented immigration? Obama, Bush, Clinton. I mean, it's not a new thing. This isn't a new thing. Acting like Biden waved a magical illegal wand is just another pathetic political deflection. So if fairness is the goal, then you don't jail people for obeying the law. I mean, it is literally common sense. I don't understand why this guy was making it so complex. And law and order, my ass. Law and order? Really? You mean like storming the Capitol and stealing classified documents and calling judges animals? That law and order? No. And you know what? It's funny how law and order only seems to matter when it comes to punishing immigrants or protesters or political opponents. Not when Trump threatens judges or poses up to January 6 criminals, right? Again, hypocrisy, not order. And you know, I don't know if anybody really truly believed that Trump was gonna only deport criminals and do things properly. Do people really believe that? Did they really believe that was going to happen? I mean, the guy has the worst track record. He's never done anything properly, and he hasn't succeeded in quite literally anything. So it blows my mind. I'm genuinely curious if people truly believed in their heart of hearts that, yeah, he's going to do it the right way. You know, we're not going to do anything crazy, and then he's going to get only the criminals, and that everything's going to go by the book. Are people just like going along with it because they're used to going along with it and they're not even realize they're going along with it anymore? Because I cannot fathom how I would get to that point of thinking, no, he's going to do things the right way. How? He has never shown any kind of behavior like that. So that's nuts. That's crazy to me. And you really think someone who is doing everything by the law, you think that's a criminal? I mean, it's not. That's not enforcement, okay? That is discrimination. It's pure and simple. Law and order means enforcing laws evenly. If someone obeys every rule to live here, then targeting them anyway isn't about safety. It's straight up bigotry. It's bigotry. It's nuts. And by the way, just because something is a law doesn't make it right, doesn't make it morally right. Okay, slavery was legal. Japanese internment was legal. Okay, there's a lot of things that were legal. It didn't make them right. So saying don't break the law while excusing rich white men who constantly break it is hypocrisy. I mean, it's peak hypocrisy. He breaks the law every single goddamn day. So if he had a problem with people breaking the law, then it would be a whole different story. And you know what? The last thing I'm going to say is I don't understand how people are complaining about immigrants not assimilating to America. I wonder why. Maybe it's because the people like conservatives and MAGA possess zero American values. They possess no American values whatsoever. They don't believe in the rule of law. They don't respect how the government works. They don't have any they don't respect the Constitution. A lot of amendments they don't even abide by. So sorry that immigrants are coming over here and actually respecting the laws and paying taxes that they don't benefit anything from. They pay a lot more taxes than what's even fair. And they're happy. They're like sporting USA t-shirts all the time. I always see immigrants smiling and doing good hard work and just doing everything right. I mean, they're loving where they're at. They're grateful. I don't even see Americans as grateful as any immigrant. I don't understand. For example, I would expect Haitians and Hispanics and all these type of people to be storming the Capitol trying to tear this country down, right? But I didn't see that. We didn't see that, did we? No, we saw MAGA and conservatives doing that because they're the ones who are against every traditional American value. So deportation in Trump's America has nothing to do with law and order, what's morally right, and treating humanity is supposed to be. It's simply about numbers and cruelty. And that's it. There's no arguing that. How can you have any other explanation for that? It's impossible. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Please like and subscribe. There's plenty more videos to come soon. Aside from sweating, it's literally 103 degrees right now, according to this thermometer right here. And I hope you enjoyed the episode and come back for more. All right, see ya.
They got your data, dumbass.
Do not come. Do not come.